My name's Tim Freshley. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I've got the minifig scale Hogwarts Great Hall.
Okay.
So, idea was, I've seen a lot of awesome Harry Potter builds over the years, just amazing stuff, but I never really saw like a true minifig scale. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try it. What the heck? And probably started at least planning this about 15 years ago. What you see here probably came together, I'd say, within about the last 6 to 7 years. Just various parts. I mean, it used to not have a roof, because I just did the walls and the floor, and then I started building up the roof and the towers and everything. And, eventually I want to do the front hall, I want to do the tower, and just see how far my time and money will take it eventually.
Absolutely. So starting with the interior, go ahead and take us through some of the details you were able to include inside there.
Okay. Well, and I will give credit to my son Jacob, because he did all the minifigs here over the last couple days and all the scenes, but he's got like the Weasley twins plotting something here in the front, and just kind of a day in the life. There is a sorting ceremony up at the front. He's got Harry like vanishing somebody's head to scare Malfoy on the side, and then just basically students studying and eating. I do have because of course the kitchens are underneath, and we all know how to access the kitchen, is you got to go to the portrait of the bowl of fruit, and you got to tickle the pear. So there is a pear down there at the very bottom. So I guess the goblins are trying to break into the kitchens, who knows, but they can't figure it out. So I had a lot of fun building that bowl of fruit. I had a lot of fun building all of it. But just a great build. I hope people enjoy it. Really try to, not just make it tan all the way. So try to put a lot of other colors in there to make it look weathered and aged and everything.
Yep.
So a little bit of, realism in a non-realistic setting.
How did you build up the base of it? What's kind of holding up that gray floor?
Okay, under the floor, and that's of course, it's a 2x4 brick turned sideways. I actually have built arched braces underneath. There's two big arched braces, so you could still put a full kitchen down there, which I do want to do. If he actually would go in on, I don't know if you can get an angle in through the windows, you might be able to slightly see them. But yeah, the one other detail up, and the thing I want to point out is all the statues along the walls. I think in the movies they're all pretty much either the same or they're kind of animals. But I had a ton of fun building those. Like one, there's a robot, there's some birds, there's a couple that just don't even, who knows what they are. They're just shapes. I was just playing around with all black, just trying to get the idea of these gargoyle type statues for the walls.
Fun creative liberty in there.
Yeah, just a ton of fun building that. So, and even on the outside, I love building trees. So I really do like my trees. I tucked in Dumbledore's tomb here on the side. I don't know how many people actually noticed that, but I built that maybe like 6-7 years ago. It's just a ton of fun to build a tiny little creative build. That threw in the night bus. That's one of the sets, but and then use the the light kit to do it. So of course I didn't build that myself, but it goes well. And I think my son put Harry falling down. Of course that doesn't happen in the forest, but.
The trees are really impressive with the amount of leaves in there, just very kind of thick branches. So what was your approach and kind of technique with that?
Oh, with that, I'm just layering and trying to get them, you can, with those pieces, you can just stack them so but they look just stacked. Mm-hmm. So I really try to bend them just a little bit. And if you find those connection points that you can actually pull them down on the sides, on the outside. So then you do get more of that rounded, sculpted, more organic look. It's just a lot of time playing around with them. Like I built I love the purple. I need to get more purple, but I've used basically all of my purple in these, 4 or 5 that I have. So then I got some blue, and I think the blue looks well too, kind of as a contrast. I made those a little bit shorter, so kind of a different species or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I just really look, I want them to look dark and brooding and shadowy, with like the dark forest. So I think the purple and the blue to a lesser extent really do kind of bring that out.
And a really important part of a build like this, because it's all covered, is the lighting. So we can really appreciate those details in there. So what kind of lights did you use here?
Now here, literally just Christmas strings, and they're white. So at first I was like, I'm not sure they're gonna look, but to me they actually do look like the floating candles. So it's kind of one of those. Yeah, it's totally it's not a Lego element, but it works. And in the bottom, since there's light, underneath in the kitchen area, I just have like 2 strings laid out. So that's like 2 strings of, I think, 100. So there's probably 200 lights in there in the top part, and there's 200 in the bottom. But yeah, it just really, really lights it up, because if the lights aren't on, if we turn them off, it's actually really dark in there. With the roof, it's hard to see, actually.
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea, and that's definitely a tip for anyone building with interiors. You want people to be able to appreciate all the hard work you put into your build, and if it's not well lit, then it's really difficult to pick out those details.
Yeah, definitely.
So moving up to the roof section then, how did you do these kind of large roof panels that you have on top here?
Okay, well, each side is actually 3 panels that then I just connect with some plates underneath. They're 6x6 sand green, and they're layered. So I actually have 2 layers of 6x6 overlapping sand green. They are a little wavy at times, because Lego is like that. If you just stack plates around, but I try to reinforce as much as I can. You can see kind of the roof line right at the ridge. It doesn't quite come together. I've used some a couple snot bricks there, but it doesn't come together at a strict 45. It's a little bit off, so they kind of hold enough to make it good. And I was thinking maybe even like lay down some like sand green 1x1 rounds, just a whole string of those to kind of cover that. But I don't think it looks bad at all. So, but I'm very happy. It's my 2nd generation roof. I had one that was a just solid panel on both sides. It was just too flimsy. And going back to the lighting, I actually had the lights originally attached to the inside of the roof, but that didn't work quite as well. And since I wanted to break it down into multiple panels for easy transport, I now have the lights are weaved through the braces, the arch, the rafters. Yeah. Sorry, looking for the right word there.
Good.
So yeah, I've actually got the lights are now in the rafters, not on the roof. So, but yeah, the roof, it was fun, but kind of hard to get the math to work right. Lot of 1x2s built in, like all the very top line, because you got to get it to sit right and to have the right number of studs. So, but saw those at the Prick wall, like 5-6 years ago. Like, yeah, I can probably use a couple thousand of those. Just took like 3 or 4 cups worth of those 1x2s. You never know when you're going to use it. Part.
Excellent work here, and it's neat to see such an iconic, structure from Harry Potter being built and displayed, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great convention.